So the first question is, how do you balance when you have two conflicting emotions at the same time? Very good question. So I'm not necessarily looking for balance when I have conflicting emotions. What I'm looking for is a resolution to those emotions and a direction in which way to go. So I want that conflict to be resolved. In the yogic teachings, we talk about the three minds. There's the negative mind, the positive mind, and the neutral mind. The negative mind, neither positive, neither good nor bad. The negative mind is the aspect of your mind that is protective. It offers up all the reasons why you might not want to do something, why you might need to pause. The negative mind is the protective mind. So for example, let's say you wanted to go across an 8-lane highway. The negative mind would come in and say, oh my, it's very dangerous here. Lots of cars. Boy, I'm not sure we want to do this. Why do you want to go over there anyway? Maybe we should stay put. It's much safer over here, and this looks a little too risky. So that would be the testimony of the negative mind. The positive mind, again, neither good nor bad, is the aspect of your mind that is expansive. It is looking for opportunity. The positive mind will offer up all the reasons why you should do something. So in this same analogy of crossing an 8-lane highway, the positive mind will chime in. Wow, look over there, it looks so exciting. Sure, there's cars here, but you've never been hit by a car before. What's the likelihood you're going to get hit by a car now? I'll tell you what, we'll look both ways and we'll make sure that we're safe and we'll roll right over there. So that's the positive mind. Giving you all those reasons why you should go after something. The mantra of the positive mind often is, what's the worst thing that can happen? And usually when you ask that question, you're going to find the answer. So I laugh because I lean a little into the positive mind. I hear the testimony of the positive mind a little more clearly or loudly than I hear the testimony of the negative mind. So my job is to open up, because ultimately what I want to do is I want to access the third mind. The third mind is the neutral mind. The neutral mind you could think of as the judge, the meditative aspect of your mind that is receiving the testimony of negative mind and positive mind, and then making a decision from a calm and centered meditative place. And by the way, it is said that when you are in touch with your neutral mind, when you are in practice of listening to testimony and seeing the positive and negative of everything, not shutting any information out, but being able to actually hear, that you can drop into the neutral mind and make a decision, release the conflicting possibilities, that you can make a decision in 9 seconds. That's what it said, that it should only take about 9 seconds. Now, that's a skill. We have to develop that skill. We have to work our way into that skill. But I've always found the teaching of the three minds to be very helpful for me for a few reasons. Number one, it helps me to understand my tendency. So my tendency being leaning into the positive mind a bit more, and you can reflect in your own experience. Do I lean more to the positive mind? Do I hear all the reasons to do stuff? I don't mind taking risks. Or do I lean a little more in hearing the negative testimony? I like to be a little safer, a little more calm, a little more collected. sort of measured in my decision-making process, and I don't like taking risk. I'm a little more risk averse than this guy over here who's, the positive mind that doesn't really mind taking risk. You understand, leaning either direction there's pros and cons to each thing. But what we want is balance, and we want resolution of conflict. So we need to hear all the possibilities. The person who leans a little bit into hearing the negative mind more than the positive, that person is rarely going to take a beating, but they might miss some of the opportunities that life presents to them. On the other hand, the positive mind leaning person is rarely going to miss an opportunity, but every now and then that person is going to take a good ass whooping at the hands of life, because they go with that mantra, what's the worst thing that can happen? And they're going to find out. An example of this I can give you is in my own life, in many, many business relationships, many partnerships. When I was a much younger man, I would just say, in the first meeting of somebody that I wanted to work with or do something with, I was like, oh my God, they're so brilliant, they're so smart, they've got this going and they've got that going, and I would just hear all the reasons why, this was a great partnership in the making. And then 6 months into the partnership, I'd be pulling my hair out and just be like, oh my God, I didn't see this, I didn't see that, I didn't consider this, I didn't consider that. It ended up not being a great partnership at all. And that's because, partially because I was unable to slow down enough to hear counsel from the negative mind. I was just hearing the positive mind. So my job, open up to all testimony and be in that meditative place and make a decision from there. So conflicting emotions, when you're in that place, I often ask myself, what's fueling this? And I'll actually take out pieces of paper and I'll say, all right, here's one emotion or one opportunity, one possibility. What are the pros and cons of this? And then here's the other opportunity or the other emotion, the other feeling. What are the pros and cons of this? Where's this coming from? And just the act of going through that process starts to bring me into more contact and more balance with negative and positive, and ultimately to access neutral mind. I hope that is helpful to you, and that whatever the challenge is or the conflict is, that you're able to move through it.